So we're seeing a few trends happen. With the M&A happening in market recently, we're finding that the large media companies, there's a lot of consolidation happening on that side today on the supply side. So what's occurring is they're able to now bundle their premium assets, whether that's news, could be sports, could be entertainment, into more of a one-stop shop deal opportunity for a buyer to activate against. So some good examples of this would be Disney with their XP product, which is their Hulu Disney cross-platform. Paramount rolled out their EyeQ product a number of years ago, and now just recently One Fox talked about their One Fox opportunity that's going to be powered by Magnite's programmatic strategy, will be really opportunistic for buyers to activate against. The other trend, though, we're also seeing is that as a result of the many different inventory shares out there, some of these major content owners are starting to pull back a little more on these various different carriage agreements and also the different partners they work with. So at any given time, you could see that some of the same inventory could be existing and running in different platforms and different apps out there. So as a result of this, many media owners are starting to just pull back a little bit, be a little more efficient, consolidate their vendors, and it's helping alleviate some of the confusion on the buy side.
So we've talked a bit about the media owners. Now I'd like to ask you a bit more about what's happening on the other side of the screen with the viewer. So nowadays you turn on the TV, you just see a proliferation of CTV apps, streaming services. So what about the user experience, the considerations? What's top of mind there?
So on any given month, a user can only really consume so many apps, right? There's a finite amount of apps that they can take on. And that could be because of costs of that or just purely the right type of content they're looking for. So once one of these direct-to-consumer apps has this different individual on top of their app or experience in watching the different content, it's critical that the ad experience is seamless. You cannot provide a negative experience whatsoever to that viewer. So more so than ever, UX is key. So things like ad quality, the normalization of the audio, you do not want anything like ad duplication, and obviously relevancy of the ads too as well. But what you really want to be careful on is not only is this just for the user, but it's also for the brand too. And media owners have to look at both sides. So working with different types of vendors and AI technologies to make sure that you are considering UX a part of that process is going to be pretty critical moving forward.
And finally, I wanted to ask you a bit about the upfronts and how that's changed. Traditionally, they've been very important, getting commitments from advertisers. But now as media buying becomes more programmatic, how is it changing? How is the deal making changing? And what do you see happening next?
Yep. So the upfront practice will always be there. It's a critical part to the ecosystem where it helps, and it's a point for the publisher, the media, the content owner to understand how big of a budget they could see on an annual basis, because it helps them evaluate what type of investment they can make in their content. So there's right now a nice blend between traditional assets where a buyer gives a publisher some sort of hard asset and the publisher loads it up in their ad server and runs it that way. We saw a rise in programmatic guaranteed over the last few years, which was a nice way for buyers to start moving more of their upfronts into the programmatic channel. But now we're seeing momentum on the biddable channel as well. So to clarify, it's not the open marketplace. We're talking about one-to-one deals here, private marketplaces, that allows for a publisher to say, I have these various different types of content or geographies, demo, and I can give that information to a buyer in real time to allow them to evaluate the impression opportunity. And as a result, we've seen some really good yield on the publisher side. So we're starting to see that channel start to build up a little more too.